This is probably the most important tool every content creator should have, a lint roller. I mean, you can get these from many places, but the ones from IKEA are the most popular. So, they're very, very sticky in case you don't know what a lint roller is. If you've been very, very sticky, I said. If you've been near your cats or your son or just anywhere, it's not a bad idea to have one of these to get rid of any fluff or stuff on your clothes. But that's in my studio tour video. You might have noticed this behind the monitor. I don't think I mentioned it. I think I forgot to mention it. But this sits behind my monitor over here when I'm not using it. Lint roller. No studio content creator should be without it because there have been times where I've forgotten to do it. And then when I'm editing, I can't get my cap on. I can literally see like specks of cat hair or fluff on me, and I hate it. Especially when you wear a dark top. When you wear a dark top, right, this kind of stuff is not good. Right, the reason I've gone live today is just because I'm downing tools for today, but I thought I'd just jump on a live chat going to an Indian restaurant tonight to have a meal with my wife and son. We haven't done that in ages, so that should be a pretty good thing. Eddie. Eddie is now getting YT notifications on his phone. That is interesting. I mean, I don't quite understand the whole YT notification thing, if I'm honest. I don't really get it. I don't get it. I just don't get why it sometimes does work and sometimes it doesn't. Chris, greetings from Bangkok, Blizzard. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Thanks. I'm glad you like the setup. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Hamza. Today, I want to talk about a topic that the topic that kind of gets raised quite a lot. And I've spoken about it a lot. But I want to just discuss another way how a lot of you could try and get clients, okay? I don't think there's any bulletproof way. I'm a little bit fed up of seeing many, many videos and articles and guides say, this is how you get clients and it works and you do this and you do that. Nothing fully works. It's all down to you, the potential client. Are you the right person at the right time in the right place and all of that kind of thing, and the circumstances and the situation and their frame of mind. So anything can work. But at the same time, those sort of things could fail as well. So I don't want anyone to kind of think and go, yeah, there's a bulletproof way of how to get clients. But I do want to discuss a possibility with you that I don't think I've really discussed. No, I have discussed it. I just haven't spoken about it in the way that I'm going to speak about it. So we'll be talking about that in a moment. But yeah, I'm glad you like the studio tour video. I think it kind of shows that this is a normal room, right? So you got to see what's on that side, my wires and my wires. They look messy, but they're not messy, and a bit of junk and my cat tree. And then over there, I've got my weight training bench and my digital electrical resistance machine in Noddy Gym. Brilliant. Seriously, if you're going to get an electrical resistance thingamajig, brilliant. But then I got loads of my tablets and my protein bars and other bits and pieces and stuff like that. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video on my studio tour, please do. I am going to do quite a lengthy video. I haven't recorded it yet on how do I go from webcam or camera to the Mac Mini to OBS, microphone, OBS. How do I show the YouTube comments as well? Because I'm using an extension with Chrome, which is free. How am I streaming? How am I recording? What are my settings? What are my filters, if I have got any filters on my audio and my camera? How do I do the mini-me? So when I do this, which you will now see over here, how do I do all of that and show that on screen? How do I show my desktop? How do I do all these little things? I'm hoping that will be useful for some people if you have, or your client even, This could be a video that could be for you or your clients. Maybe your clients need to get out there and market more on TikTok or Instagram Reels or LinkedIn or YouTube. This could be a video for them as well. So, how can I do a lot of stuff for free? The only expense you will make, or the only expense you will incur, will be your camera if you decide to use a camera, or you could use your iPhone, right? Microphone, or you may already use whatever you got. I mean, I would always say get a decent microphone, but you don't have to really spend more than 60 quid, if I'm honest, a dynamic microphone. But so when you, so other than the cost for like, your camera, your computer you would already have, and your microphone, everything else you can do for free. All right, I really want you to get your head around that. Even the editing side of things, I use CapCut, I use CapCut Pro, but you could do it for free. You could use iMovie for free. You could use HitFilm Express for the Windows for free. There's loads of stuff you could use for free. And I really feel like people need to get their head around that. Because a lot of people feel like, no, let me change what I'm saying. There's a lot of influencers out there on YouTube that say, how do I set up a podcast? How do I set up my YouTube channel? What would I do if I could redo my YouTube channel? What have I learned in the last 10 years? And what they all promote is StreamYard, Restream, EVMux, Riverside, and a few others, okay? And they're promoting these third-party premium tools where you have to pay 20 quid, 30 quid a month. And even then, you're not getting like really hardcore quality coming through sometimes. There's limitations. But I'm going to show you how you could get like full-on 2K quality for streaming and 4K quality for recording. So I really want to do that video. And I think that will be ultra useful for a lot of you, but also for your clients. You could share it with them and go, hey, look, I think you need to get onto YouTube, build your brand and all of that. Now, Old Fat Trucker says word of mouth is best. Yep, you are right there, but I'm going to talk about another way. Dennis says it's really fun to see your space. I'm glad. That was actually the second video I recorded. I did one earlier, and I didn't like it. The way I walked around with the camera, I just felt, nah, it feels too weird. So then I recorded the video of me sitting, made a note of every time I spoke about a different bit of equipment, and then I just took my camera and just focused on each bit, and then I added them to the video with a bit of text, and I felt that worked quite well. Blizzard says, I'm working on a destination management company's website. They are using experiences from other DMCs, but is that ethical? Well, okay. I don't think it's ethical to use others unless it is actually about the product and about the service that you provide. If you start, like imagine, so on the learn.websquadron website, I only share testimonials about the Elemental course. Any testimonials to do with maybe something from 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe I built a website for someone, that's not to do with the Elemental course. Therefore, I don't show that kind of testimonial or that experience. So yeah, some ethics do kick in. Yeah, so Dennis, I tried Prism. But I'm going to show you a really simple way of how you could just use OBS. Now, the limitation with what I do is if you want to have guests, you got to do a little bit more. But again, I'll share that methodology as well. So there's so much you could do. Extraordinary. Great to see you here. There's a lot you could do for free. So I'm just going to quickly ask you guys before I jump into the topic of today with how to get clients is, do you think that's a good idea for a video? Do you think that's good enough to watch? Do you think people are going to care? Because I feel like that video could easily become a 2-hour video because we're going to go through, some of the settings. Oh no, let's try and keep it to an hour. I think 2 hours is too much. Let's edit it down to an hour, and I'll talk about the recording, the streaming, where I go and do my cover art. So you're going to get full on behind the scenes of me And I'll actually record a video as well at the time, and we'll stick it into editing. So you actually see me editing as well. And it's all recorded. And because I really do think that for a lot of you, this could be the gateway to being able to get better exposure for you, your brand, and your business for free, other than your gear, and for your clients as well. And this is what people have to really think about. A lot of the advice and tips that I and others give you about SEO, about marketing, word of mouth referrals, all of these kind of things, right? Building your brand, LinkedIn, engaging on Facebook, being there, being seen, consistency. It's not just for you and your web design business. You got to relay this back to your clients. Because when you relay to your clients, you're literally giving them advice, even your potential proposals. They might be like, wow, no one's ever told us that before. I didn't think of it like that. And that kind of advice can be so massively priceless, in my opinion. DJ mixes on Twitch. Nice one. What kind of music do you do, Dennis? I'm into trance music. I really like my trance, but I like my epic orchestral music as well, classic music. But I like my trance. I love my trance music from 1996 to 2000. After that, it went a bit weird. But 1996 to 2000 were the epic years of trance. Old Fat Trucker, you are a little bit off about condenser and dynamic. Yeah, I mean, I understand all the patterns and all of that, but I find that, like, my experience with condensers is that in a soundproof room, as long as you've not got anyone walking in or anything else happening in the house or whatever, condensers can pick up a bit, whereas I find the dynamic is just proper well good. Yep, Colin, would be worthwhile. Yep, so I'm definitely going to get that video done. You should start a Discord server. So the thing is, I did consider it. The reason I didn't was because basically I've already got too much to manage, right? You got your courses, you get DMs flying in from everywhere, notifications, YouTube comments. We've got the Facebook group. And I personally feel that the Facebook group is going to get more coverage with people from various age ranges, whereas I feel like Discord is still open to all ages. I'm not being ageist here, but I do feel like it's geared more towards, in my opinion, the under 40 market. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's absolutely true. But the doors, yeah, Discord would just be, like Dennis said, it's just another level of moderation and work, and things could easily get out of hand. Like, if you follow the Web Squadron Facebook group, I am a little bit controlling over what goes on that group, because I don't want people to be abusive. I don't want people to get abused, solicited marketing, advertising. I like to keep that a tight ship. Right, okay, so let's talk about how to get clients. Okay, right. So a lot of people, obviously, hey Hemel, we're going to talk about how to get clients. So a lot of people have spoken about how they've tried to get clients and they struggle, and the normal routines are cold calling, cold emailing, word of mouth, incentives for referrals, just going around, knocking on doors, dropping off leaflets, advertising, sponsorship. There's loads of these little things that you could do. Eddie, you make a really good point. I do find Discord very disorganized as well. And yeah, the searching facility, the checking, email notifications. I find, I don't know, I do find it quite disorganized a little bit as well. I get invited to all sorts of Discords and I normally don't bother. Right, so back onto clients, okay? And some people are saying, I've done all that, I'm doing all of that, and it's just not working. So here's a strategy I want you to think about. If any of you that are watching right now work with any particular niches, can you please stick it in the comments? So do. Again, Eddie, Circle is one of those things where I feel like it's just another thing I'd have to manage. And because I'm so active on Facebook, I'm already stretched as it is with so many different things. And I just feel like if I went into Circle or anything like that, it would just blow my mind. Right. The Blizzard says Japan travel industry. So come on, I don't mind if you want to chip in, you can. If not, you don't have to. I'll give it another minute, and then I'll talk about some of the ways of how you could potentially try and get more clients. Old Fat Trucker is dog breeders and non-profits. Blizzard is Japan industry. Let's just pop these on screen just so you can see the comments flying in there. So any other areas that you tend to focus on quite a bit and you do enjoy building websites for, and you've got some experience in it and you kind of know the market pretty well or what people are going to work with. So Dennis goes work with so many niches, right? So let's just focus on Japan, travel industry, and dog breeders and non-profits and charities and stuff like that. Colin, e-commerce, that's like... that could be anything e-commercey. Right. Let's just focus on Japan travel industry. So this is a question to Blizzard, okay? And if other people want to chip in with how you would answer this for your particular area, please do. Are you aware, Blizzard, of other people or businesses that work in the Japan travel industry that do not have a website, or they have an old website, an outdated website? So are you aware of other businesses out there that don't have a website, or maybe they're just relying on like social media at the moment, so they've never got a website, or they've got an outdated website? Same with Dennis, fire water pumps and compressors. Do you know of any businesses that supply that, but they've got an old website or an outdated website? Same question to Old Fat Trucker, dog breeders and non-profits. Do you know of any businesses out there that have an old website or an outdated website or no website? Yeah. So Blizzard says all the local suppliers in Japan, they are very outdated and hard to find for travel operation companies like mine. Okay, so there's lots of local suppliers and they could be supplying all sorts of stuff. Could be beds, could be pillows, could be water bottles, could be all sorts of things, right, in Japan. So people are struggling. So here's what you need to do, Blizzard, right? For the Japan travel industry, I bet there's lots of categories. Would you agree with me? Would you agree that there's going to be different categories for like accommodation, food, I don't know, tourist guide, I don't know, clubs, stuff like that? Yeah? So Blizzard agrees with me. So far, we're on a roll here at the moment, okay? We're on a roll here. This is what you do, Blizzard, right? This is what you do. And I want you to apply this, what I'm saying, to any other industry or area that you work in. Tea ceremony, glass blowing, kimonos. Wow, this sounds like a fantastic place. Sounds like a party going on here at the moment. And he did put glass blowing as well, in case anyone heard me wrong there. Not ass blowing or whatever. So glass blowing, okay? What you need to do is create, really simply, and when I say create, just create them on your website as another page or something, right? Or even on a subdomain. Doing it on a subdomain can actually work better for you, in my opinion. So let's just pretend your website is Blizzard. Well, it can't be blizzard.com because that's World of Warcraft, but let's pretend it's blizzardawesome.com, right? You create a subdomain. The subdomain for that will be tceremony.blizzardawesome.com, right? You create on there a one-page website. Really simple one-page header, footer, hero banner, some punchy statements, services, map, location, contact form, and that's it, right? You try not to spend more than, say, 4 or 5 hours on it, okay? for tea ceremony. You do another one for glass blowing, and it could be a copy of what you've just done for tea ceremony, but you might have to tinker with the layout. Make it vibe with glass blowing. Then do one for kimono. Make it fit the kimono vibe, okay? So it could be the same layout, different images, right? Or it could just be, it might be different colors. You got to go with what would fit, right? Kimono, clothing and all of that. It's going to be very different to glass blowing, right? Glass blowing, I'm thinking of like oranges and blues and stuff like that, the whole effect. So you got to think a bit differently. Now, where am I going with this? Okay, and I hope you're still watching me, and don't forget to smash the like button if you are. So you got this area and you got these categories within, and for as many of them as you can, you create these one pages. Then what you do, Blizzard, okay, is you identify maybe, let's just go 5 companies for tea ceremony. You identify 5 companies for tea ceremony, right? You then take your one-page website for tea ceremony and you basically change the name of it to be the name of the company. Or you find their logo. Even if it's off a business card or a photo, you just find something, right? Try and make it look decent and stick that as the logo. You then make sure that inside of the, when you say contact details, you put their address, their company name. Do you get me where I'm going with this? Now, the services could be generic. The photos, unless you're able to get a photo of them or their location, it doesn't matter if it's generic as long as it fits the vibe of tea ceremony. But the important bit is in the contact form, or where you say contact us or visit us at this address and you put Google Map in, you pop that company's details and their logo if you can get it, or you just pop a bit of text in as a placeholder for their logo name. Then you send that, right, that link for that page to the tea company. You send it to the tea company and you say to them, hey, I hope you don't mind. I noticed that, you've not got a website or your website was outdated. Or say it in a nicer way. Say, hey, look, I really think you could benefit from an updated website, with improved SEO and marketing and all of that for promotional needs, and to help the Japan tourism, industry find you. And if you want this website, I can give this to you for $1,000. $500, whatever is the rate you're going to go for, because it's a one-page website. You've already built it, okay? If you want to pursue this, let me know. Now, they could quite easily just kind of go, right, we'll just get someone else to copy that or not. But if they like it, and maybe they've never actually had a website look this damn good, that's a sale. That's a sale for you. But all you're doing is giving them a one-page website, right? And then they'll give you the correct logo and the correct images. Now, if they say to you, but can we make it go from a 5-page website, a 1-page website to a 5-page website? I don't want it just on 1 page with menu anchors. I don't want that. I want a 5-page website. I want to have a gallery. I want to have like something else on it. I want to have an appointment booking system. I want a few more other stuff. That's where you go, yep, okay. The standard website is 1,000. The extra stuff, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. You've got your foot in the door, because it's dead easy to cold call and cold email a client, a potential person, and go, hey, do you want a website? Hey, your website's looking a bit outdated. Do you want to improve your SEO? Do you want a bit of marketing? Do you want to do you want to make your logo bigger? Do you want to do all of that, right? That's no different to a load of the junky, spammy emails they probably get left, right, center. But now you are going in with, you've already got a website. So look at their old website and what did they have? What did they have? Right? What they got? What could you reuse? And don't spend too long on this, right? You want to, that's why I'm saying if you go with the 1 page, right, you just change the logo and their details, boom, you email it out. Right? Okay. And you let them know. Don't just email it and say, if you like it, come back to me. No, let them know in the email. Here's the website. It's not that difficult to set up. We can work with you. If you want extra stuff, we can work with you on that. But the basic, this website, how it looks right now, obviously with your correct logo and images and stuff like that, $1,000. And we can get this set up with you within, I don't know, 48 hours. Once we know we've got your domain name, your URL secured. Stuff like that, right? Stuff like that. And that can basically work for you. I'm just going to double check some of the comments because I think I've missed out some of them. Yeah, Blizzard, I just saw your comment, but yeah, all you're doing is showcasing to them, this is what you could have. Big Eye, you're saying please type and share that pitch message. Well, I'll probably take what I've said in this video and I'll re-release it as a separate video for people as well. You can make a lot of templates. Yeah, it is in effect a template. It is a template, but what you're doing is rather than just creating a shop with loads of templates and you hope people find you, what you're doing is you're creating the template and then you're going to the client, the potential client, the businesses. When you notice there's a gap, there's a hole, there are people who they just haven't got the website set up yet. If you're able to pop their name and their logo into there, and you're just saying, look, I've just created this and I just want to show it to you, the potential of what you could go with. And this will be submitted to Google. Oh. Right? For analytics. For helping you to get found on Google. We can make sure we boost up the keywords and stuff like that. And it is really lightweight and easy to manage. In fact, and you can let them know, I could manage this for you, but I could easily train you up as well on how to manage it. And you build that into your cost, and you'll be absolutely fine. Blizzard said, is there any way to keep a piece of my actual travel company within the website I created for them? Well, yeah, obviously in the footer. In the footer, you could say designed by blizzardawesome.com. Yeah, you wouldn't say based on a template by Blizzard Awesome. You would say designed by Blizzard Awesome. And when they click that, because it will be a link back to your website, that's what you would do. Exactly like Dennis said, you could use AI as well to help generate images as well for them. Colin says, what would you suggest is a good platform to build the demo single page on? Well, look, the really simple, easy way to do it is if you already have your company domain, right? Because you don't know what domain they have or are going to use. So ours is websquadron.co.uk. So if I was going to do it, I would have a subdomain called blizzardawesome.websquadron.co.uk. It's just a subdomain on my server, right? Kind of thing. And you could do it like that. And I mean, obviously you got to think about, and if you really want to keep it simple for yourself, you could just you could, if you want, don't fill in the contact details and the logo. Otherwise, you may end up having a load of subdomains. And what you don't want to do is send them a link and then they go to it a week later. And now you've already gone and changed the logo and the contact to a rival company because they ain't going to like that, are they? But, there's stuff you could do for that. Big Eye Holdings. Here in South Africa, we work with funeral parlors because most of them don't have proper online platforms. Google profiles and probably set up an optimized social media page. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's basically in effect what you'd be doing here. So you have your template website or how you would like to present it, and then you just let them know. You reach out to the companies that you know of or you research that fit that target market that could benefit. And you even have to say to them, even if you think you're not going to benefit, the other companies that are looking for funeral parlors will benefit because they can now go to your website and see what you offer, what do you charge. And if they like it, they'll use you. So actually, there's a knock-on effect. Everyone wins. You know, the designer wins, the company wins, and their clients win as well. Because I think a lot of businesses, they're a little bit short-minded and sighted as well. They often say, I don't need a website. I'm quite okay on social media. Yeah, I just use social media. But what if your clients come to you and they want to find out a bit more about you? All they've got is your TikTok videos or your Twitters. And what you expect them to, like Facebook. So many companies, right? They don't have a proper website and they got a Facebook page. And you go to it and they haven't done a Facebook post for like 5 years, 4 years. And then you sit there thinking, are they still open? You know they're still open, but you think, why have they not updated? They haven't got, or the menu picture isn't very clear, or you don't know much about their opening hours and stuff, you know, and they, you know, it feels outdated. You lose trust in it, but you got a website that hopefully is updated with the right information and maybe a contact form. Do you know how many times I have maybe found a company, gone to their Facebook page, and I've then DM'd them or I've sent a message and I get no reply. And I sort of then go, well, are they still running? You know, so there's the knock-on effect, the benefits for that business and for their clients and anyone else that wants to work in that area. Old Fat Trucker says, I sell against a website builder. What's that? I sell against a website builder that make billboard sites. Website isn't constantly changing. You are right there. I mean, there's more and more videos coming out at the moment about how you can use AI and stuff to generate websites. I'm still not convinced. I really am not. I've seen so many examples, and even the examples I've seen some influencers create, I look at them and I kind of go, there's still quite a bit of work to do. And there's nothing worse than when you agree to work on someone's website to do a makeover. And when you work on it, you then realize it's not so easy to change it without rebuilding an entire section or a page or something like that. And of course, the way AI is going, next year, 2 years' time, 5 years' time, who knows, right? The picture could be way different. But I think, and we've got to ride with it. You can't be ignorant of AI and all of that. Otherwise, you just get left behind. Someone once said to me, they said, you talk too fast. You do too many videos. I haven't got time to watch 3-4 videos a week. You know, I have to slow you down because you go on and on and on. Or when you're doing a tutorial, you're jumping from like the content to the style and you're going here and there and there. And my answer could have been, I'll slow down. Now, in the Elemental website course, I did slow down a lot. And people literally asked me, was that you or was that AI? Because they were a bit like, you know, you were very formal and you spoke about, now we're going to click this. Now let's go over to the style tab. And I said, no, I was just being intentionally slow. But what I say to people is, if I'm too fast, or I say too much, or I release too many videos, or AI, ChatGPT evolving, new solutions, new video creation, editing tools, new stuff coming left, right, center, plugin developments, new plugins. If things are moving too fast, the solution is that you need to keep up. We can't expect AI or things to just slow down because they won't. You know, it's going on at such a rapid rate. In a scary way as well. You know, I first started using ChatGPT it was either December or January 2023, and mid-journey 2023 as well, January. I was so blown away. I mean, using ChatGPT, changed the way I approach work. I mean, even this morning, today, right? I was looking into what was it? It was to do with that's it. It was to do with my Elgato prompter, and I said the Elgato prompter is quite heavy on this camera with the Sigma lens. It when you attach it, the camera moves down a little bit, which is annoying because then I have to adjust it. Then when I take it off, I have to adjust it back, and that's really annoying. And I was like, what could I do here? And it came up with some suggestions, and we were not in that place 2-3 years ago. Well, we kind of were, but not really. Yeah, more than 3 years ago. Because in the old days, we would go on to Facebook, ask a question, and wait for the answers and what we get. You go to Reddit, and you normally got abused before you got a decent answer. Or you went on to another forum, or whatever, and, the range of answers you got was so mixed. They weren't timely, so you didn't know when they were going to come in. And they could be, conflicting viewpoints and stuff like that. Whereas with ChatGPT now, whether you're thinking of going on holiday somewhere, or you're researching a car or a new Mac computer, or what Sony camera or DSLR should I get within this budget that can handle low light exposure, blah, 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 blah. Give me all the details. I, rate it out of 5, give me Amazon links, tell me the pros and cons. When you're comparing them against each other, score them out of 5, all of these things. AI has made life so much easier, right? Hamza says, how is Elemental AI? I didn't find many videos on it. Elemental AI is fine. I don't do many videos on it. I'm going to be honest here, okay? I don't use the Elemental AI a lot, and I have a reason for it. Because I like to keep things... Hey, Owen, by the way, how you doing? I like to keep things organized, like a folder structure or whatever. So with ChatGPT, I've got my chats, right? And I can see where I was. I can resume a chat at any time. I can jump back in. I can jump onto my phone while I'm walking around and carry on with the chat. I can be watching TV and I can carry on whatever, jump back on my machine and all of that. With Elemental AI, it doesn't feel fully joined up. And I'm not keen on using Page Builder AI to do image generation or video generation or content generation, even code generation. I prefer to do it with my tool of choice. So Grok, when I was using ChatGPT, then I moved on to Grok 3, then I moved on to Gemini, and then I went back to Grok 3, and then I went back to ChatGPT, and now we've got Grok 4 that loads of people are making a song and dance about. The cost for Grok 4 is ridiculous, right? I mean, like super crazy money, but eventually it'll probably be rolled out to everyone. But I've got ChatGPT and all of that. Where was I going with this? What was I talking about? ChatGPT, Grok 3, AI. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, my brain's gone. This happens to me quite a lot now. It's happening more and more. I forget myself. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Elemental AI, right? With Elemental AI, I don't really know what I'm using, really, fully. And I don't like the fact that I can do images and contents and stuff within ChatGPT, and I can access it anytime via ChatGPT or the app, and I can talk to it. It just feels, why would I want to go into a page builder and do it? Do you get what I mean? Why would I want to do that? And some people say, oh, but it's quicker. And I'm like, is it? Is it quicker? And I know what I'm going to get. I have found that when you use AI, even Canva's AI, okay, there's a lot of flaws in it. There's quite a lot of flaws in it with how it can visually create a presentation of a bit of code. But there are still some flaws with it. Like you can't upload certain stuff. When you do want to get the code, you have to view the result and then go to page iframe, whatever, to get the code. So you're having to do these like it's almost like you're hacking to get stuff that you know you can get without fail like that within ChatGPT. So AI still has a long way to go in a way, but I mean, when I say it's got a long way to go, it's doing pretty well now. I'm thinking more of robotics and stuff like that. But when it comes to any AI within a page builder, I just feel like I'm just not sure. Yeah. If we did not have so many AI tools, then I understand why you'd want to stick it in your page builder. Okay? If we did not have so much choice. Images, right? I get it then. I get it. But we have so many free tools. And when I say free, a lot of them are free for you to use without subscribing, whatever. We have so many of them. Why does it need to be inside of my page builder? Do you get what I mean? Because I always feel like the page builder is the page builder. AI is AI. And then they've made it with images and videos and VO free and all of that stuff, right? So they're growing and, you know, whatever. The website page builders should not, in my opinion, be crossing over into AI. Leave the AI tools to do that. You can maybe network and link between them, but I would keep them separate. Because I feel like it muddies the water, right? Like, I can say to AI, I've got a container and I want to add a spacer into the container. I want to make it absolute, but I want to clip, or I want to have like 50 pixel top and left margin. And I want it to be colored XYZ, right? I need a bit of code which is going to work absolutely fine on the desktop, tablet, or mobile, but I would like to state the max width is 768 for when you now go from mobile to desktop and stuff like that. So I want all this stuff, but I also I want to be able to, something like that. And then you hit generate and it's going to give you the answer. And then you might say, okay, now I want to tinker with it and do a little bit more. I find that when you go to like, and I'm using Elemental AI as an example, right? It could be various tools. When you go in then and start doing it inside of a page builder, I feel like your focus goes. I don't think I'm explaining this very well, am I? Really? So let's say I'm working on a website. I'll have a window. And when I'll have another window with ChatGPT, it could be on this screen. It could be over here on the side, slim window, right? I'm looking at my screen now as I type so I can see what I've got. And then I might go, you know what? I'm going to go to preview. I'm going to right click, inspect, get the page source, go to files, save it to my hard drive in ChatGPT. I'm going to upload that page file and go, right, on my page, you will see there is an accordion. I want that accordion to do XYZ. How do you think I should do that? Is it possible for me to do it inside of Elemental Pro, or would I have to use a bit of HTML, CSS, or JavaScripting within some HTML widget? Please help me out to sort this out, kind of thing, right? And it goes away and does it, right? Or I could have uploaded another image and gone, right, this is what I got, but I've taken a screenshot of that and I've now moved, say, the headline to go from left to right, or left to right, because you're looking at the reverse of me, so left to right and all of that. How would I do that? And then the AI is going to work it out for you. And when you're doing it in ChatGPT or Gemini, Claude, or wherever, Perplexity, you've got a history log, and it should do what you want. And you might need to re-clarify the prompt. When you're inside of a page builder AI, it's not the same experience. And I've never been massively excited about like packaging AI within a page builder, because the strength of what you get with Elementor, my brain's gone dead here. Elementor, not Elementor, ChatGPT, Midjourney, and all of that sort of stuff, right? You got all of that. So that's my view, Hamza. Did that make sense to you, Hamza? Do you agree? And by the way, I'd love to see your comments as well. You know, please do drop your comments in as well. Okay, I would love to see that. So when it comes to clients, you're struggling, you're not, you're sending out your cold emails. Try that approach I just gave you right now, which is create your template on a subdomain, email it out, let them know that they can get back in touch with you, and this is what the cost would be. And you could either just go with what you gave them and you swap out the images, the text, the logo, maybe refine some of the services, stuff like that, rather than, I always get tired at round about this time, rather than just saying, hey, you need a website, you're missing out, because that kind of stuff just gets on and, just kind of does my head in. Owen, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you, I mean, look, if I was to turn off, so if I turn off my key light, right, watch the shadow on my face. Can you see that now? So that's the shadow on my, because this light is on. So it fills the shadow. If that was off, you would just have the red light behind me. So I pop this light back on, and I've got my controller over here, like that. So I can make it brighter or darker and stuff like that. Absolutely flipping son. Robotics, mate. Robo, get me the Pepsi. Dennis says a page builder has to be a page builder. If AI generates weird code, it's more work. Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's how I feel about, too many products decided to chuck AI in. And I think some of them actually made the user interface or the experience not so good. I'm trying to think of a good example. I can't think of a good example. Yeah, YouTube. The YouTube offers the facility when you upload a video to use AI generated thumbnail cover art. I tried it just to have a look. Oh my God, all it does is take like a shot from within your video. And that's kind of it. It doesn't do what we would do when we're creating our videos, editing, or working with a client, or the cover art, or a video. That human touch. It's dead easy to say, create a logo for Web Squadron, and it creates the logo, and you're like going, yeah, but you know what? Maybe if it was a little bit rotated with a bit of perspective, something, and the logo was a little bit turned or whatever. We often create with emotion. You'll see something that someone else has done, and you're like, I absolutely love that. I want to recreate that for my next client. I want to make sure that whatever I really love that style. And you could use a seed with AI and go, look, be inspired by this. But even then, it might not fully get it right, kind of thing. Hey, Anthony, I'm okay. How are you doing? So we've been live now for 40, 50, nearly 50 minutes. We're coming up to 50 minutes and time has flown by a lot. I hope you enjoyed that chat. I mean, I haven't really got any other topics to talk about. Mainly that I am trying to I'll tell you a story actually. This is quite funny. So a company calls me up this morning and they were like, we're doing something for the Lincoln City Football Club. Not, I'm not in Lincoln, but Lincoln's next door. Lincoln City Football Club, and we want you to join in. So I straight away said, well, depends on what they want and have they got a budget to cover it, and standard website could cost X. And she was like, no, I didn't mean that. And then she went through this whole 5-minute spiel, and I just had the phone on speaker while working, and I thought, I don't want to be rude. I'm not going to hang up on her or tell her to get lost. I'll just let her say her bit. And she was going on and on about they're going to do a special, 60-page program in November, December time at the football club. It's going to be a huge, big thing. They're going to be doing like a special meal and all of this stuff. And it's going to be for Lincoln City Football Club. So it's their program brochure, right? And it will be read by thousands and thousands of people. And I was like, then, so what are you actually asking me to do? Because we don't create brochures and stuff. She goes, oh, well, we want to allow you to have an A4 page. It will be an A4 size, A4 page advertising your company. And I was like, I don't do that. Yeah, but it's thousands and thousands of people. No, I don't do that. I don't do Google advertising like that. I don't do sponsorship stuff like that. We're quite happy. We get a lot of regular clients and new clients. We have other ways of marketing. That is not for me, okay? Because you know what? These people that ring up, sorry, I just hit the microphone. These people that ring up or email you, they will make it sound really amazing. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are going to read this A4 page, full page marketing. You can say your services, what you're doing. There's going to be a massive launch of this event with this program thingy midgy, whatever they were doing, in October, November time, and you can be part of it. No, thank you. She then said the price. I was like, no, I'm really not bothered, right? We have enough stuff coming in. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was, Peter. Ad space. And I was just like, ugh, there are going to be people that fall for this. Because the way they put it out there, the reach and all of that. And don't get me wrong, stuff like that can work. But I also find it's not targeted very well either. Right? So imagine 1,000 people see that advert and they're like, oh yeah, I want to use them. And all 1,000 contact you today. How are you going to handle all those requests? And you might say, oh, I'll handle 10 at a time. But then what if the first 10 are shit and then the other 10 were okay and the last 10 were brilliant, but you missed out on them because you took too long? It's just it's an absolute I'm just not into that kind of thing. I just don't like ad spaces. It can work. And you could get some interest, but it's not the way I like to roll. Beta coders, are you waiting for Bricks version 3? Nope, not yet. Because version 2 just came out today. So Dennis says, in the middle of a WooCommerce project from a previous web builder, you got to build in Breakdance. The only thing I have to manage is 2 buttons that people can order 1 bottle and 6. Huh? Are you just working on 2 buttons? It's like a variation button then, isn't it? Here's the price for 1 bottle. Here's the price for 6, kind of thing. I think that's all we're saying, isn't it? Is that right? Am I right there? Just realised my hair's looking a bit weird on that side. Let me just sort my hair out. There we go. Old Fat Trucker, I would have started saying it sounds like you need a website. I did say to them, you know, do you have a way of advertising this? Oh yeah, we're just calling up companies that we know, you know, they would love to be part of this. And I was like, what do you mean would love to be part of it? What makes you think I would love to be part of this? I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. But I do worry about so many people and companies that get swept away by promises like this. You know, do a Facebook ad and you'll make millions. You'll make $10,000 a day, whatever. Put an advert in a brochure or a paper. You're going to make millions. Sorry for yawning. This is what happens when you've been up for 11 hours, which is what I've been. And arguably, in those 11 hours, 10 and a half minus 1. So 9.5 hours I've been working. The last almost an hour has been on the live chat kind of thing. So it does start to catch up with you. Okay, look, I've been live for 56 minutes now. I'm going to jump off. I hope you enjoyed today's live chat and how I gave you another way of looking at how to get clients, you know, how you could build like templates almost in a way for certain niche areas and the categories within the niche areas. And I hope that helps you out. I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow. I'll see you soon. Take care.